Welcome to the Celtic Way. Celtic versus Rangers lineup reaction and match preview. I'm A Haggerty, Tony Haggerty at A Haggerty10 on the Twitter, the X handle, and I'm joined today by Ryan McGinlay, who's somewhere live outside a snowy Parkhead. Isn't that right, Ryan?
Yeah, welcome everybody. Thanks everybody for joining us on today's video. Yeah, it looks as if the snow's stopped, which is quite good, but it's been a bit hectic getting there. Sorry for the late start to the video. The roads have been absolutely terrible, to put it lightly. You know, the stop start, holding your clutch, holding the brake in, etc., etc. So I made it in one piece. I've got a parking space. I'm ready for today's game, which I'm really looking forward to. I don't know about you, Tony. I woke up a bit nervous and pessimistic today. I don't know, maybe I just had the heebie-jeebies in my tummy, but the closer it gets to kick-off, you're just excited for the game, aren't you?
Oh, very much so. Yeah, I think it's only natural to be nervous, Ryan. Let's be honest. I think if there weren't nerves, then you would be wondering why. But yeah, can't wait for this game. It's one that stirs the juices and get the blood flowing, doesn't it? And
yeah,
you should
absolutely.
put the graphic up there, Ryan. It was the same team that we predicted, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'll just put it there just now. Yeah, this is what we think the team will look like on the park. I know that all 11 players have been selected. We think that Maeda will play on the left and Palma on the right. Maeda's got to play there, I think, to negate Tavernier and his attacking quality, which is probably a show of respect to the fact that he is a good goal scorer. I guess I know a lot of his goals come from the penalty spot, but you need to stop his deliveries as well. And that'll be very, very important on the day. You're looking at that team. You're looking at Bernardo, it's his first Celtic Rangers game. Looking at Palma, it's his first Celtic Rangers game. And of course, there's guys in this team that this isn't their first rodeo with this derby. You know, Kyogo's got a great history with it, especially this year. O'Reilly's had a couple of really good performances, especially on his debut, or sort of his Celtic Rangers debut back in the start of February 2022, that amazing 3-0 game. So yeah, it's a good mixture of new and old. I think it's the strongest team that Celtic could name in terms of first team players. Nawrowski's obviously on the bench. Welsh is starting, but Welsh he's equipped himself quite well. Is it when he's came in games recently, and I think he's deserving of his start.
Yeah, very much so. The manager said that yesterday, didn't he, in his press conference, that he trusted him, in the loyal supporter he called him. And he had every faith and trust in Welsh to do the job. And you saw against Feyenoord, even name checked him for the Feyenoord performance. So, that's the strongest team that we thought in Cameron Carter-Vickers' absence, Ryan. I think I had initially had Maeda at right wing, but I actually meant to put him at left wing to negate Tavernier. I wrote that in the wee synopsis as to why. But on the bench, Ryan, Abada and Hatate, two names to warm the cockles of the old heart on a cold day, Ryan. So, it's massive. Did say that the manager should put them there even if they don't feature in any shape or form. But they're there. They'll get a massive cheer when their names are read out. So, I'm still as confident, as optimistic as I was in the week leading up to this, Ryan. So, it's time for Celtic to turn up and perform, really.
It's time to get the league back on track, or back to a more acceptable gap, to be honest with you, because the past couple of weeks, I know that Celtic have got their last two games. The last two games of they've got wins, but the two games before that were two defeats. It's up to Celtic to make this a bigger gap. You know, back to the gap that it was, or at least near enough to that. If they win today, they can go 8 points clear. I know Rangers will have two games in hand due to this postponement of that Ross County game. I think they've got Hibs as well to play. But to even have 8 points, to be 8 points clear of your rivals, regardless if there's games in hand or not, it would be a massive, massive advantage. It's up to Celtic to really stamp their authority on this fixture again today, and they can do that by winning at Celtic Park in front of all their fans. Fingers crossed that's the case. But everybody has to turn up. Nobody can have an off day today. Everybody's got to be singing from the same hymn sheet, basically, playing from the same playbook. I don't know what other cliches you could use, but they all need to be right up for it and be ready for the very first whistle. From the very first whistle, they need to get in about their opponents and make it as difficult as possible.
Yeah, points on the board, Ryan. That's what Celtic want rather than games in hand. So, we we hope that Celtic can stretch their lead to 8 points, Ryan, and we can hope that they put in the performance that we want today, and put on a show, Ryan. That's what we want to see. Hope the crowd get right behind them and Celtic put on a show. But that's in Cameron Carter-Vickers' absence, that's the strongest team possible. There's arguments whether Narowski should have come in, but Hart, try that again. Welsh has been playing, so I'm happy that he's there, but delighted to see Narowski on the bench if needed. Ryan, he can be called upon.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm glad that, and there was people in the comments that are saying it as well, there's consistency in this lineup. And I wasn't a fan of when managers threw a curveball for a derby fixture. I want there to be as much. I want the team to be able to name itself when you get to the team lineup tweets or the Facebook updates. As much as you like a curveball, you want it to be as consistent as possible, because this is the team that's been winning the past 2 games. They had a really good performance, I thought, against Dundee. They got the job done against Livingston at home, who are always a difficult opponent. They're going to come up. You're going to come up against a low block. So this team know each other, apart from Welsh coming in for Carter-Vickers. You wish it was Carter-Vickers in there. Anybody would. Any team would miss a player of Carter-Vickers' calibre and leadership. But I think Welsh can do the business today. And he's also a really good aerial threat. He's one of Celtic's best headers of the ball at the club. So that could be a big thing, especially with Palmer's deliveries, putting those deliveries. He's going to get a lot of deliveries. I don't know if he'll have been told by the manager to keep it to deliveries and not go for goal. Maybe today, in the conditions that are today, it might be a good idea for him to go for goal in that instance. But if he can get a good ball into the box, Stephen Welsh should be looking to attack them and try and get them in the back of the net. He's a very good header of the ball, and hopefully that chance comes to him.
Yeah. Just want to clarify this. D67 says, Tony, you've got Cameron Carter-Vickers in. Yes, we wrote our team lines before we heard the news about Cameron Carter-Vickers, but we had a team if Cameron Carter-Vickers was fit, and a team if Cameron Carter-Vickers wasn't fit, with Welsh taking his place. So that's the team that me and Ryan both picked in the absence of Cameron Carter-Vickers. So there you go. So just wanted to clarify that. We wrote it for both scenarios, didn't we, Ryan?
Yeah, absolutely. I had to take somebody out of the comments there that's saying that the game was cancelled. It's very much not cancelled. That's just the game is definitely on. I can see loads of fans travelling to the game just now. There is no way they would call it off this close to kick off. The game is going to be on, and you've got to play the conditions. I think it's going to be a factor today. The pitch is going to. It's not ideal conditions for a game of football, but in other ways it is. Because mistakes can happen. Defenders can have an off day. That can happen for both teams. There could be a slip that leads to a goal. There could be a slip that leads a player into goal. So, it works for both teams. You're just hoping that Celtic will get the break on the day. With their home fans behind them, you wouldn't bet against them getting the result today, especially with 60,000 fans, screaming and shouting everything.
How big a factor will that be, Ryan, do you think?
It could be. At the pitch, there was Ian Crocker, the Sky commentator, put out a video. He put out a video of the pitch, and it was looking absolutely pristine. The only thing you could see was snow falling around it, but you could still see the green of the pitch, which just I think the grounds people have got to get massive credit for keeping the pitch in good nick, especially at this time of year where conditions are going to be a bit nightmarish. So it's the worst possible conditions today for a game of football, but both teams just have to get on with it. We've got a Glasgow derby to play. Let's just get on with it.
Yeah, who's going to be the match winners, Ryan, today in the Celtic team? Who do you think will be the difference makers? You
can't look past Kyogo with his record this year. Considering he scored his first goal against Rangers this year, I think he's scored in nearly every game since, apart from that 3-0 game at the end of the season, which was a complete anomaly between the two sides. Celtic just did not turn up at all, or Celtic's subs didn't turn up at all because there was a bit of rotation in that match. But Kyogo's numbers in this fixture, especially this year, are nothing short of incredible, especially in big moments. Look at the Hampden goals that he scored. He scored at Hampden against other teams as well. But look at the Hampden goals against Rangers. Look at the goal at Ibrox that he scored at the start of September. He's a big game player. He comes in the clutch, as they would say in basketball. He's a clutch player. He will. he just comes up in the big moments, and I think he'll come up in the big moments again today. You might have a bit more space to operate because Rangers will go for this. It's a derby.
Yep.
Rangers will have to go for it. I think there's more pressure on Rangers than there is for Celtic to get a result today, even although the table and the way things have been going. But Kyogo's such a big player. He's not the only big player. I'm looking at Palma today. I'm thinking this is the game that you really show why you're well in the running to be player of the season. He's got goals in his game. He's got assists in his game. O'Reilly's the same. He's one of the contenders for player of the year already. If he can get a goal or an assist today and keep those goal contributions going up, then that would be immense, to be honest. But anybody in this team, it's time for heroes. As I think it was the Libertine said, it's time for heroes today. You look at Bernardo, his first Celtic Rangers game. This could be a big day for him, or even the captain stepping up. Any of the defenders. Don't really care who scores, to be honest, Tony, today, as long as it's in the right net and Celtic get the win at the end of the day. But it's time for heroes today, and it's time for someone to make themselves a hero.
Over 400 people joining us on the live stream, so thanks very much, guys. Really appreciate it. Early start. East Kilbride's a bit of a whiteout. I think you came from Coatbridge as well, Ryan. There's a bit of a whiteout there, but hey, here's hoping that Celtic can do the business today and put a smile on my face and warm us all up. And that's, as you say, it doesn't matter who scores, Ryan, as long as someone steps up to the plate. And these games, traditionally throw up some unlikely heroes at times. So this is the one that Callum McGregor was talking yesterday. He says these are the ones you're judged on as a footballer. It's time for every Celtic player to, as you say, step over the white line and put in a performance of a lifetime, Ryan, and make sure that the 3 points head back to, stay at Celtic Park, to be honest.
Regardless of your opinion, it's the biggest fixture in the Scottish calendar. Yeah. Regardless of any opinion that you've got, these are the games that you look at. You look at the dates specifically. Yes, you've got games against Aberdeen, Hearts, Hibs that they make up good fixtures as well, especially away days for fans. They like to travel to these venues. This is the game that everybody looks for at the start of the season. They look for that specific day. They'll get days changed at their work specifically to cater for this game. They'll plan family events in and around this event just so that they don't match on the same day. It's absolutely massive. It's you don't really understand how big it is until you've been in Glasgow and you feel it. It's an incredible fixture. Everybody can have their opinion on the ticketing scenario. Both teams, it's not an ideal situation. I know it was Rangers that started the whole debacle. Maybe it's something that you would want resolved down the line. We've spoke about that at length on the podcast. I don't want to go into it too much since it's a match preview, but it'll be 60,000 Celtic fans in the stadium. That's got to be an advantage to the home side. It's got to be home court advantage. They've got to use that advantage. They'll have the crowd. The crowd will be up for this. A 12:30 kickoff. It's going to be it's going to be a massive fixture, and you're hoping that the crowd can roar Celtic on to another famous victory.
Yeah, very much so, Ryan. Lots of comments coming in, and there's optimism abounds. Jason Lee saying 2-1 Celtic. That's his prediction. Get your predictions coming in. People score lines and all that, so we'll read a few of them out. But yeah, are you confident, Ryan?
Yeah, I would say I'm confident. I was confident all week, and then I woke up this morning and I wasn't feeling confident. And then as I was driving to the game today, I'm feeling more and more confident. You see the subs bench, you see Abada, you see Haggerty, and they're two game changers, they're two match winners that you could bring on, even if they're only fit to play 20-25 minutes. I think the plan is to play Bernardo for 70 and bring Haggerty on for the last 20 minutes. That'd be absolutely massive because, at once 70 minutes is going in, if he's only got 20 minutes of fitness, and the players around him, they'll be at the same fitness anyway. So he'll be able to slot in just seamlessly. He might be even fitter than those players who have just busted up for 70 minutes. If he can come on, it's written for a player like Abada or Haggerty who have been out for so long collectively this season to come on and make the difference. If they were to score a winner, it'd be massive going into the new year. Not to forget that Celtic do have another game after this. This isn't the final game until the break. We've got Celtic have got St Mirren on Tuesday night, but it's so important that Celtic get the win to go into that game. We want to be talking about, can Celtic hold on to their 8-point gap going into the winter break, rather than can Celtic get close to Rangers? You don't want that to be the case whatsoever.
Sure. Now I'll read some of his predictions out, Ryan. So there we go. 3-1 the Hoops, says Michael Ross. 420 somewhere saying 2-0, hail. 2 each, I'm afraid. And Celtic 67 saying 2-0 Celtic. Helen McCallum 2-1 Celtic. Smell the Glove saying 3-1 the Hoops, early Kyogo strike. Ewan Boy Martin saying early goal and Celtic blitz them 4-1. 2-1 Celtic, come on the boys, says Dennis Jameson. Luke Pitt saying Palmer scores first outside the box. 3-1 the boys. Rangers to get a penalty, saying 3-1 for me, says Craig McMeekin. This is where Rodgers earns his crust. 3-1 for Hazel Finn. Come on, Kyogo. Paul McLaughlin says 3-0. Celtic 88 3-1. So lots of 3-1s and 3-0s, Ryan. Come on, Celtic. He's got 3-1 Celtic on. I think he's Coopin he's talking about. I think the fans can roast Celtic on. Palmer free kick, Kyogo on the counter 2-1 Celtic. Maestro 95 says Jay Crick. Big skills for a header 3-0. And Jason Lee also saying he doesn't believe that Celtic will keep a clean sheet without Cameron Carter-Vickers. So there you go. So your own prediction, Ryan, have you got one?
I think it's going to be a close game. There might be 1 or 2 goals in it, to be honest with you. But I mean, that winning, if Celtic will win, it'll be by the odd goal or maybe 2 goals. I'm going to go for 2-1. I can't see Palmer not scoring in this game. I've just had a funny feeling he's going to score in this fixture all week long. The numbers that Palmer, in the stats bomb report that I did a couple of days ago now, Palmer's numbers were absolutely incredible. It's about time he got an assist against Dundee, but he should be getting goals and assists near enough every single game. He's a constant danger. He's erratic, yes. He can make mistakes, yes, but he'll never stop trying, and he'll never stop going for it. He's a player that even if he doesn't beat his man 5 times, he'll go the 6th time, he'll go the 7th time, because he knows that he might get joy. I just love his confidence. I love his aura that he brings on that. It'll be on the right hand side probably today. But the two will switch and throughout the game, I think. I want to see Palmer. There was a lot of links with Palmer and Rangers at the start of the window. You want him to come home to roost to show why they made a mistake and not further pursuing that player. If he can come back and bite them, then that would obviously be good for Celtic, because he would get a win in a massive game. Just looking at you can't look past a Kyogo or an O'Reilly. O'Reilly's never scored against Rangers. That's one of the teams that he hasn't scored against. It's time that record was put to bed.
To put that right. Yeah, exactly. I'll say 3-1 to Celtic, and Ryan will go one more. I think Celtic. I just think the crowd will get behind Celtic and they'll spur them on to victory. And again, I have every faith in the manager that he's got the game plan to sort things out. And I agree with the commenter that said that this is where Rodgers earned his corner, and I believe that as well. So yeah, I've got every faith in these players to turn it on today, and could be talking a different story come this time at 2:30 or whenever it is we're back on air. But we will be back on air post-match once all the Q&As and the work is done. But yeah, this is the bit I actually hate, Ryan, the kind of half an hour before it. I'm fine when I wake up. I'm always, me glass half full, optimist, eternal and all that, dreamer, romanticist, you name it, pair anyone from all of those. But yeah, it's just that kind of half hour before it where you just want the game to start and you want it over and done with one way or the other, don't you?
Yeah, and I feel like we've been talking about it for so long. I know we've had other games to talk about, like the Dundee game, the Livingston game. As much as you try and not think about it, the Derby game will always be in your head. That is the benchmark game. That is the big game. It's the 6-pointer as well, because Celtic are going to be first and second in whatever order transpires at the end of the season. It's a 6-pointer. It's a massive game. It's all about bragging rights as well. And yeah, we're at this point that the game's 40 minutes away from kickoff. It's probably going to be either the shortest 40 minutes, the longest 40 minutes, depending on how your is of the game. And this game will go in a flash. It's one of those games that just. And I say that, I actually say it goes by in a flash. There's been some games, some Celtic Rangers games that have been so slow. And then other games, it's like one flick and it's half time already. But it's just all about the way the game goes. Celtic have just got to manage themselves, control the controllables in the game, as I always say. If they can do that and not play the fixture, just play their own game. Don't play the fixture and play it like any other home game, then I think they'll be okay today. I don't want them to get dragged into a battle. I think it will be a battle, especially in that midfield. There's a lot of first choice players that aren't available, certainly for Rangers. They've got quite a few players that they would have had. You look at Raskin in particular, he would have been playing, but he's obviously been injured for quite a bit now. For Celtic, Haggherty's obviously on the bench. He's not fit enough to start. So there has been a bit of a switch around. Your usual suspects that would have been playing in this fixture aren't playing. So it provides an opportunity in that midfield for somebody to be a hero and for someone to be a villain as well, unfortunately. And on derby days, you're either a hero or a villain. There's no in between.
Yeah. Over 510 people joining us on the stream. That's amazing figures, guys. Thank you so much. Just hope that we're all back tuning in after and your team has won. It's always result dependent, isn't it, Ryan? I always say that. I think both sides have got key players missing, haven't they? And it's again who, you say, heroes and villains, who steps up to the plate, isn't it? And big day for Bernardo, I feel, Ryan. Big day, big chance. Great opportunity to grasp the nettle from where he was with his best game in a Celtic jersey against Dundee last weekend. And if he become the hero again, then they'll be replaying that moment for years to come, won't they? Or for time of perpetual motion. So a big carrot for Bernardo, that, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm just having a wee look at the two teams just alongside each other. Celtic definitely have more strength and depth. They've got more options to come off the bench. It's not often that Celtic have said that this season. I definitely see Rangers had maybe the stronger numbers in the first game. It seems as if the roles have reversed ever so slightly, because you're looking at Rangers bench, apart from Matondo, really, the Lammers to an extent as well. Scott Wright's, he's played in Scotland for a few years. Apart from that, there's not really any names that stand out that are big difference makers. So what Rangers have got in their starting 11, that's what they're going to go with for the majority of the game, unless an injury happens. For Celtic, they've got Abada and Haggherty, two players that probably would be starting if they were fully fit. So to have that firepower in reserve is brilliant. But just going back to Bernardo, what a massive opportunity for him today. He knows he's probably going to give it 60, 70 minutes unless he gets a red card or an injury or something. Fingers crossed, touch wood, that doesn't happen. He's going to have 60, 70 minutes to impose himself on this fixture. But it was really, really good against Dundee the other day. It's all about, this needs to be his breakout game. This needs to be his Edward at Ibrox game. This needs to be Jota and the countless games that he had in his first season that prompted Celtic to go and buy him. These are the games that will get him a contract for next season if he plays well. So he's got to really show that he's capable of stepping up. Because if you can't do it against Rangers, unfortunately, you're not really going to make it as a Celtic player long term. These games come along 3, 4, sometimes 5 times a season. So if you can't play against them, then you won't last long.
He can put himself in that conversation, Ryan, at the end of the season, can't he? By a dominant performance today. The loan option to buy conversation I'm talking about, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So, if he shows it today, then he'll certainly feature in that conversation. There'll be conversations had. If he doesn't, then you certainly think that it might go the other way. Yeah, that they'll not take up that loan option to buy. Again, the captain said it himself, these are the games you're judged on, so let that judgment be a positive one, Ryan, for all of the players.
Absolutely, yeah. The fact that he's in the shop window now, he's in the shop window for a good reason. I know I've mentioned this a couple of times, but you look at the player he's probably replacing in that midfield at the moment, Bernardo. He's in the shop window the other way. He's only got 6 months left in his deal. I don't want to repeat myself too many times, but Bernardo's very much the opposite. He's trying to win himself a deal for Celtic. He's going to bust a gut to make sure that he is guaranteed that contract at the end of his loan spell. He can do that. He can take that decision. He can make that decision easy for the board and the hierarchy if he puts in a good performance today. If today's his breakout game, then that option to buy will look even like an even smarter acquisition or even a smarter move for Celtic. Because if he can do it in this fixture, we know he can do it in Europe as well. He did it against Atletico Madrid. His marking was really, really good in that game. I think it's his off the ball stuff that he's been brought into the team for.
Yeah.
You're going to get a shift from Bernardo. Don't know if he'll feel close to Cantwell or any of the other midfielders that Rangers have got. I know they've got Lundstrom in there as well. He's passed back for the game. So, yeah, it's up to him to be busy off the ball. And when he gets the ball, be creative and industrious with it. And then if an opportunity comes, because he's scored, he's off, he's broke his goal scoring duck for Celtic now. Let's see if he can make it 2-2 with a big goal against Rangers today.
And we spoke about him earlier, but you write Kyogo off at your peril, don't you? Basically,
absolutely.
This is the game that Kyogo comes
Form doesn't really matter. Form really doesn't matter to Kyogo, to be honest, because he can pop up at any moment. He's the player that I would assume that Rangers. I've not spoke to a lot of Rangers fans about Kyogo, but I assume that he's the player that they're most feared of because he can just pop up at any moment. This is a game that suits him. He'll get more space to operate today. If there's a chance that he's 1-on-1, I'd put all my money on him to score that chance that he scored, that he missed at Dens Park. If he has that chance again, I've got no doubt that he'll find the back of the net rather than going wide.
This is the kind of game, Ryan, where if Kyogo touches the ball 4 times in the first half, I'm expecting him to score twice.
Absolutely.
And I think he's confident in his own ability to do that, and the Celtic supporters are confident in his ability to do that as well. So we shall see. Everybody is hoping that there's a win. It's always result dependent. I say it all the time. Ryan, I'm going to let you go and get ready and brave the elements and enjoy, sir. I hope your team wins, and I hope we're smiling at the end of the 90 minutes and we're coming back on the briefing and talking about Celtic being 8 points clear, which would be the statement of intent that we hope the champions are going to make today against their rivals. I agree with you that the pressure is on Rangers to see if they can win a big game without the backing of their own supporters. Celtic have proved that they can do that at Ibrox and have done that. So, but yeah, Celtic play and they bring their A game and they perform, Ryan. I think they'll win.
Yeah, absolutely. Celtic play to the best of their abilities, they'll win the game. That's my opinion. Keep it to them. If they keep their game going, if they play their own game, then I think they'll be absolutely fine. But we'll see. We'll definitely be back after the game, regardless, win, lose or draw.
We will reconvene, and I shall speak to you anon. As I want to say, you go and enjoy the game, sir, and I shall speak to you soon. Everybody, thank you for joining us. Over 500 people joining us in a live stream before pre-match. That's brilliant numbers. Thank you so much. Try and read out a lot of your comments, but if we don't read out your comment now, we'll try and read it in the post-match briefing. So we'll speak to you soon, guys. Take care. Join us after the game. But everybody's hoping that Celtic win and put a smile on our faces and give us that wee, New Year boost, Ryan. Yeah?
Absolutely, yeah.
Take care, and we'll see you soon.
Cheers, guys.